Dflow module pump and flow sensor change. First of all, you need to remove the yellow cover from the bracket. This is held on by 6 self-tapping screws, and best thing to use is probably some sort of electronic screwdriver, a drill driver. That's what I would use. Make sure that the bit fits nicely in the heads of the screws, otherwise they will round off. So there's a little lip at the back of the cover, so just lift it off and put it to one side, and then remove the pipes from the pump. These are held on by like wing nuts, hose tails. They can be easily undone. You don't need to take the pipe off of the hose tails, just push them out of the way so as you've got room to access the pump. And then undo the 4 screws that hold the pump down onto the bracket. These are slightly bigger than the ones that hold the cover, so again make sure your bit you're using in your drill driver fits nicely, and they should come off easily. And then disconnect the cables from the pump which go into the tag board. These are just female spades, quite easily. A pair of pointed pliers, fine nose pliers would be good for that. And then pull the screws out of the rubber mounts that are on the pump and put them to one side, so you should be able to use them again. Then you need to remove the flow sensor. This is held on by what we call snappy clips. They're a bit of a fiddle to get off. You need to sort of prise them off again with a small pair of pliers. Sometimes you can get a screwdriver underneath and just break the clip. And then get some boiling water and put a rag or some paper towel in it and hold that on the pipe where it goes onto the flow sensor. That softens the pipe and makes it easier to pull off. Do the same the other side. Again, leave it for a little while, let it warm the pipe up, softens the pipe, and then by twisting and pulling you can pull the pipe off. You might want to just release the gland and push a bit more pipe through to give you a bit more access to the pipe work. Again, it's a bit of a fiddle, but it should come off okay. And then you'll want to remove the spades connections of the flow sensor off of the tag board as well, and that's the high volume flow sensor removed, so put that to one side and just get yourself a bit of paper towel or something to mop up the water that you sort of may have dripped out when you were warming the pipes. Now the holes in the base plate for the new pump need to be drilled out about 3.4 mil. Just makes it easier to get the self-tapping screws in. They can be a little bit tight if you don't do that, and there is a danger of snapping the screws off. And then put yourself some hot water in a little container and just warm the end of the pipe where you're going to put the new flow sensor on. This again softens the pipe, makes it just easier to push it on. It's important to get the arrow on the flow sensor pointing in the direction of the flow so that it goes the right way. If you get it the wrong way around, it won't work properly, cause problems. So do the same with the other bit of pipe, warm it up, push it on, and then it goes on quite easily, as you can see. And then you've got to fit the snappy clips to that. I always sort of dress the cable from the flow sensor downwards and head it off towards where it's going to go onto the tag board. But yeah, just finger tight the snappy clips. You could probably use the ones you took off, but if they've got damaged by removing, then replace them with some new ones. And the best way to tighten them up, I use parrot pliers, but that's what we call them. Ordinary pair of pliers, just to snap them tight and do them there. You'll hear them click shut, and they hold it quite securely. So then take the cable, make sure the pipe work sort of flat across the base of the bracket, and plug the cables into the tag board. You do it in order: red, blue and black. And once you've done that, get yourself your pump and position it over the holes on the base plate, and use the screws or new screws to screw that down. Don't over tighten them because it will squash the rubber mounts, but just do it tight enough so as it's holding it firmly. They just protrude a little bit through the base. And then take the cables, 2 female spades, black and a red one, and push them onto the appropriate place on the tag board. And then sort your pipe work out, pull it in through where you've sort of got a bit of slack there. Then reattach the wing nut hose tails to the pump nice and tightly. Do the same the other side. It's important to make sure you get these done up tight, because any air getting into the system, and this includes the filter cover as well, if that's not tight, air getting into the system will impede the pump from priming. That can be a problem. So just dress your pipework up, tighten up your cable glands or your pipe glands, and make it so as it's all within the footprint of the base plate. So when you come to put the cover back on, nothing gets trapped. Make sure those wires don't overhang too much, and just check that you're not trapping the wires in there. And again, clip the cover over the back, the little flange, and again use the screws you took off. But if you have actually rounded any off, I would replace them with new ones. The screw has a little washer underneath it as well, just aids holding the cover on firmly. Again, be careful, don't over tighten them, get them nice and straight, don't go on an angle. And there you have it. And the cover's back on, so then get your low volume label and find an appropriate place on the cover to stick it down, and there you've got it. That's done. And next you'll have to change the model of the control box. When you turn it on, you'll see it just briefly displays HV. That needs to be changed, so push the select button down, turn the control box on, keep holding it. You'll get a series of lines, and then it'll say setup. Keep holding it. We don't want to go into setup mode. We want to go to set model. Once it displays that, let go. Now you'll see it's displaying Dflow HV. Turn the knob until it displays Dflow LV. And that's good. And then push the select button, and it will say save, and it'll go back to run mode. Just turn the box off and then back on again, and observe that it is actually set into Dflow LV when you turn it back on. And then all is good. You've converted a high volume module into a low volume module.